This is Uprising. I'm Sonali Kohatkar. Did you know that Uprising is now a TV show as well as a radio show? We rely on subscribers to our YouTube channel to fund the TV production of Uprising, and you can sign up right now to be a subscriber at youtube.com/uprising with Sonali. It's been just over 4 years since the horror that is the Syria war began. No, I'm not talking about the Islamic State and its conquest of northern Iraq and Syria, which seems to have eclipsed the wider war inside Syria. The war that has resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths has faded into the background of the new ISIS war that the U.S. is eager to fight. After years of inaction, on Sunday, Secretary of State John Kerry admitted in a CBS interview that the U.S. needs to consider negotiating with the regime of Bashar al-Assad, despite the widespread documentation of his government's responsibility for mass killings. Here is what Kerry said.
There is no military solution. There is only a political solution. But to get the Assad regime to negotiate, we're going to have to make it clear to him that there is a determination by everybody to seek that political outcome and change his calculation about negotiating.
And you'd be willing to negotiate with him?
Well, we have to negotiate.
Well, we have to negotiate, is what John Kerry said. Earlier, CIA Chief John Brennan spoke at an event and warned that if the Assad regime were to fall, it would open up a power vacuum into which the Islamic State could step. Meanwhile, activists have just accused the Assad government of poisoning civilians, including children, with chlorine gas. Is the U.S. preparing to ally itself with Assad in the fight against ISIS? And if so, what about the hundreds of thousands of Syrian dead? Joining us to help answer those questions is Reese Erlich. He's a veteran freelance foreign correspondent. He's traveled widely across the Middle East and has written a number of books, including Conversations with Terrorists, Middle East Leaders on Politics, Violence and Empire. His latest book is called Inside Syria, The Backstory of the Civil War and What the World Can Expect. He's been a frequent guest on Uprising. Welcome back to the show, Reese.
Thank you so much for having me.
What do you make of Kerry and Brennan's comments? Could the U.S. be readying itself to ally with Assad?
Sorry,
let me repeat myself. Yeah, what do you make of John Kerry and John Brennan's comments? Is it possible that the U.S. might be laying the groundwork to essentially turn Bashar al-Assad into an ally?
I think that that's been the plan since August of last year, when the U.S. did a 180-degree turn and made the Islamic State the main enemy. The result was that Assad and Iran actually became tacit allies. And now I think they're taking the next step, which is to try to make it a actual formal arrangement. I don't think it's going to get very far because I don't think Assad trusts the United States.